NCAA Football 13 rides in high after knocking our socks off last year with an excellent presentation. This year, the series has added a number of nitty-gritty gameplay improvements. However, the modes feel really similar, and no one likes the hint of a sophomore slump, even for a 20-year-old franchise.
Let me take you on a trip that will hardly be an island vacation. Players are on the field at Aloha Stadium.
There's an interesting mix of highlights and stumbles in NCAA Football 13's presentation department. On the one hand, all the traditions from last year are back, with some new schools like Purdue and Texas A&M getting love. Bringing home that ESPN feel is still a core value here, and additions like Reese Davis scorecard updates, Aaron Andrews sideline reports, and the bottom of the screen ticker featuring scores from your fictional universe drive that home. But then some of the touted improvements come with baggage. Motion blur looks cool in the field, but it looks weird when someone's clapping on the sideline. The stadium sounds were recorded at real games, but it'll drop out for a second or two here and there. Then there are visual hiccups like seeing through a crowd member, a cameraman tangled in the field goal net, and watercolor grass. In terms of commentary, Nestler and Herbstreit are as dapper as ever, even if they seem to repeat themselves. I guess EA wasn't expecting a lot of low-scoring games because I seem to be hearing the same halftime quips over and over again.
Well, we're headed to halftime now, and we're seeing two defenses that don't want to give an inch.
Then there are the more specific faux pas. Even if you're second string in Road to Glory, your player still leads the charge out of the tunnel like he's the starting star. Heisman Challenge has you play as one of 10 former Heisman Trophy winners, but the game doesn't really recognize what's going on. Halfway into my Barry Sanders season, Oklahoma State was running every down, but Herbstreit would still say we were a passing team and expect to see a lot of action in the air.
Brad, these guys run the air raid offense, which means they're going to spread the defense out from sideline to sideline.
When it comes to the nuts and bolts of gameplay, developer Tiburon has tweaked a lot of stuff. There are more than 400 new catch animations, 25 new pass trajectory zones, and the ability to cancel play action after the snap. They might not sound like much, but they really do change the game. For years I've been scrambling back 20 yards, throwing across my body and off my back foot, and not being penalized for it. That is not the case this year. Now planting your feet as a QB is key. The game has different dropbacks for different formations, so holding the stick down and fleeing your line breaks the pocket. After the snap, receivers' icons are grayed out until that player would be really looking for the ball. You can still throw at any time, but don't expect the usual clairvoyant players. Without a doubt, this made me feel less powerful. More a bumbling Clark Kent in a game where I used to be Superman. But it also made the victory sweeter. Completing a simple button hook or rushing for a first down suddenly made me feel the way cracking off a 30-yard touchdown used to. All of that great gameplay is paired with a slew of modes, but most feel pretty familiar with the exception of one or two additions. Dynasties, online or off, are back and offer the same recruiting, online trash talking, and contract challenges they did last year. Road to Glory is back and still has you playing as one player from his senior year of high school to his final collegiate game, except now there are difficulties to choose from, challenges to polish off, and reaction time, which allows you to slow down the game for a few seconds and make big plays. Reaction time actually plays a significant role in NCAA Football 13's solitary new mode, Heisman Challenge. Here you play a single season as Barry Sanders, Doug Flutie, or any of the other possibilities on any team you want. You set out to win the Heisman, break the real records that player put up, and see all the cool interview videos. The mode is fascinating, by far the coolest thing in the game. For years I've played NCAA football to make Mizzou the best team in the country, but Heisman and Road to Glory really flipped the format so that I'm caring about just one player. But then those presentation gripes show up and break the spell.
It was a huge play. I think the defense was out of position. There was a one-on-one opportunity on the outside, and they took advantage of it.
NCAA 13 is a great game, but it feels like a touched-up version of last year's outing with some new presentational hiccups. A see-through fan or the wrong line of dialogue might not sound like the end of the world when there's a game that's gameplay feels more real than ever, but when the cornerstone of a product is presentation, it hurts. For more on everything from the video game gridiron, head on over to IGN.com to hear about it from the internet's biggest Mizzou fan. That's me!